Welcome back, and thank you for tuning in once again. I want to pick up more or less where I left off in the last video. I referenced the course correction of the church again and how this pandemic plays right into that. You know, the Lord has called us into a time of standing still and seeking Him. And this is because He wants to bring us through this course correction, and He wants us in tune with His Spirit and coming forth in Him, in His will, in His way, in His doctrine, and the way and the manifestation of His Spirit. And I felt it was really important to go back and readdress this course correction. We have to admit that the course of the church has been incorrect. It's been off track. It's gotten a lot of man's ways, a lot of man's doctrines have come in, and a lot of things that people have called the operation of the gifts of the Spirit and such, it's not been by the true working of His Spirit. We've got to admit that, and that's okay because He's setting us on course. I know we've done so much out of sincerity, and that's part of it. But He's wanting to bring correction and change to that, and that's where we just come in line and go forward with what He has. But I'm going to read today from this course correction, and I felt it would just be easier for me to print it off, and I've highlighted some of the passages, and those are what I want to share with you. And so Brother John and I were in prayer, and this was March the 8th, 2018, and I felt such a presence of God move in, and before I knew it, this is what I heard. I heard Him say, brace yourself. And I know I did another video called I Saw the Captain that night, and I think I referenced a good bit there of what I saw in relation to what He said. And I even addressed, I believe, in a video last week regarding some of the things I saw regarding witchcraft and such at the end of what He showed me. But today I want my focus to be reading it. I really want to read what the Lord said because I want to make sure that I communicate it effectively. He says, "So what I saw was a great ship, and I saw the Lord step up to the wheel, and I saw Him spin that wheel hard to the right. And He says, I am at the helm. I am turning headlong into this storm, and I am bringing a course correction to the church. Brace yourself, church. Brace yourself as many will go overboard. Brace yourself as we turn into the storm." He's driving. Then I began saying what I could see. He's driving without fear. He's driving this thing right into the heart of the storm, and He's not afraid. I tell you, children of God, if you could see His face, He had such peace. And He was focused on where He was going. He wasn't afraid, and He's making a course correction in the church, and it's going to be drastic and dramatic. Brace yourself and be ready. It has to go this route. It has to go this route in order to bring to pass what the level of peace and victory and deliverance that He wants in our lives. It has to go this route and what He wants for the church. He's driving it into this storm. Many hearts will fail for fear. They will say it's just too great. But it's not. You've got to keep your eyes focused on where He's taking this. I see waves. I see big ones. I see rainstorms. And I see fear and all that would come, but He's turning without fear. I could just see that, and that's why in my earlier video, I said, let not your heart be troubled. This is why I don't want you to be troubled. I want you to be focused on what God is doing right now and set your heart on that and not looking at the things that are around us. You've got to trust Him. He's driving into the storm, but He knows what He's doing. That was such a great comfort to me. And this course correction for the church, see, it's leaving the old behind. All that happened in the last move of God, He's leaving it behind. I'm telling you, children of God, I know what I saw. He's leaving it behind. And then I began to see behind that ship, and I began to see all that wake and all that water churned up. And that's what He told me. Everybody's staying in that old order that keeps operating in that old way. They're going to stay in confusion. They're going to be tossed and to and fro constantly. They're never going to be established. They're never going to be settled. They're never going to have peace and confidence because they're going to stay in constant turmoil. Always going to be a drama. Always going to be something going on in their lives, and they won't be flowing in the Spirit of God. That's what's going to happen when you stay in the old. I saw it, and that's what he told me. We got to abide in the ship. As fearful as this storm might want to look and appear, you got to get your focus set on him. You set your eyes on him because he's bringing us through this, church. I'm telling you, he's bringing us through this course correction. You just hold on a bit longer. You come aside and seek him like he said, and you hold on until his indignation be past, because I tell you, we've never tasted of what's on the other side of this. We've never tasted it, and we've never walked in it. We've got to hold on. And we've got to seek him at this time. Oh my goodness. Everybody that stays in that old, they're going to stay in that confusion. But we're going forward. The course of the church has changed. He already told me it's been changed. And he's standing at the helm. He's taking control. He's taking control of his church. He's taking it out of the hands of man. And he's putting it in his hands, and he's bringing it forward the way he wants. And that's why we've got to be so careful to just let things go and get in tune with his Spirit and move forward in the Spirit of God and what he's doing at this time. Oh my, I feel it so strongly today. The course of the church has changed, and the old is not going to work. It's not going to work. And this is what I want to get into before I finish up today. The only way we're coming through, though, is we got to abide in the ship. That means we got to keep ourselves steadfast in his doctrine, steadfast in his truths. We've got to stay in line with his Spirit. We can't let ourselves be moved by anything that's going on, and we got to stay focused. We got to abide in the ship. That's how we're coming through, because we are coming through, church. We're coming through victorious. We're coming through changed. We're coming through different than we've ever been before. It's a new season. It's a new day. And we are coming forth in his likeness, in his image, with his nature, with everything that comes with that maturity of Christ. I tell you, children of God, it's just ahead of us. We've never tasted of it, but I encourage you today, seek him at this time. Follow his instruction. Don't get caught up in all that's going on, but you stay focused on him until he speaks, until his indignation be past, and then he's going to send us forth with his deliverance. I know what I saw, children of God, and I know that's where we are in this pandemic right now. Seek him. Seek him. Follow his instruction and seek him. Don't try to make it in your own way, and don't try to make it happen. That's so much of what's going on right now. I see ministers going here, there, and everywhere. They're trying to make it happen in themselves, and it's not pleasing in the sight of the Lord. It is not. I want to read to you what he told me right here and what he showed me. Let me get to it. I see preachers trying everything in the world to hold people. We think we've seen it now. We haven't even begun. You think the spirit of witchcraft is operating right now in the church? You're going to be astounded when you see the depths and lengths that preachers are going to stoop to make it look like the Spirit of God is moving. We're going to be shocked. We're going to be surprised at what we see the preachers stooping to, the level of witchcraft and deception, that they will even seek someone out. And I addressed that in a previous video, so far as to seek out psychics and the such to get something for the children of God. I tell you, I saw it coming. We're going to be shocked at the people we once walked with, then they walked with God, that once pulled a miracle out of heaven and touched the throne of God. I saw them stooping to these levels. I know what I saw, children of God, so I'm telling you, don't stay with the old. Let go of the old and follow on into the new. Let God move us forward. Be moved in your spirit today. Be moved by the Spirit of God today. Be moved to seek him. Be moved to shut the door behind you and go into your chamber and seek him. At this time, children of God, be moved to seek his face, to know how to move forward and become effectual for him and be a vessel that he can use at this time, that we don't have to fall to these false moves in these false things, these deceptions that are leading God's people astray. But if we will bide our time in His presence, then He will send us forth with His word, and it will deliver His people. God bless you until we meet again.